Hello Wastrels, it's me, Kato Genesis. Have you ever wanted to know where to get a pile of fusion cores in Fallout 4 early? I've got a quick route you can take starting just outside of Sanctuary to pick up 8 fusion cores. There are no perk requirements to this route, so any build you try this with should work fine, but of course your challenge may vary depending on the difficulty you're playing on. Part of this route even involves getting power armor in a way that Preston and Sturgis may not expect. So let's go gather up some fusion cores. After you have emerged from Vault 111 once again, forgive me if I'm assuming here, and find your footing in Sanctuary Hills, head just down the southeast road outside of the neighborhood to the Red Rocket service station where we will find our canine companion, Dogmeat, who is oh so happy to soak up damage and get in your way. But of course, the main treasure we're looking for here is the fusion core itself. You'll notice either by finding notes in the station's office or by wandering a route back, you will find a pollution-filled hole that you can enter, which takes you into a small tunnel that runs underneath the station. There are quite a few things to loot in here and a couple of mole rats to encounter, but the fusion core you're looking for is just off to the right once the tunnel starts opening up. I'm not sure whether this is a ruined reactor or just radioactive storage, but it's giving off radiation and the fusion core came out. So grab it before the air gets too spicy and we'll head out of here towards Concord. Chances are you've likely been here many times before, as it is technically part of the tutorial. Raiders are attacking the Museum of Freedom that the Quincy survivors have holed up in. You can fight or avoid the raiders for the time being, but if Dogmeat's there, he'll try to probably fight them anyway, so I'll leave that up to you. But our first location we're going to here is the Civic Access, not the Museum of Freedom just yet. And the easiest way to spot the Civic Access is to look for the alleyway that is next to the red truck on the main street that this fight is happening on. Just squeeze behind that red truck and you'll find a hatch on the ground that you can enter into the Civic Access. If you have any Molotovs or explosives, now would be the time to have them ready. Because once you descend the stairs into the drainage area and face west, there should be a Mirelurk there guarding what we're after. You may draw the attention of some mole rats as well. Before you blow through all of your ammo too, keep in mind that the Mirelurk and the mole rats down here are not friends and can start fighting each other as well. Once the hostiles are dealt with, we can now head towards the Raider Corpse that the Mirelurk was guarding to what I'd like to call a clever diversion of a chem stash and a cap stash on this raised brick platform with the cinder blocks on top. But a little further back, if you follow the water, some vines will be covering up the real treasure down here, and that would be another fusion core. And if you're looking for magazines as well, there's a Taboo Tattoos and a little sleeping area down here. Once you've looted all the things you want from the Civic Access, we'll then go back out the way we came in to the streets of Concord. And now is the time to mop up whatever raiders are left over, and also where our route gets interesting. We're going to do things a little bit in reverse. You may recall the Museum of Freedom has a crashed vertibird on the roof. This crashed vertibird looks like a bit of super intentional design, because if you head into the chapel next door, go towards the back, head up the stairs, go across the upper floor walkways to the spiral stairs that go up through the steeple, you'll then emerge facing towards the peak of the roof and the tail of the vertibird. A clear invitation to jump onto the tail of the vertibird and move over to the Museum of Freedom's roof. I recommend a quick save here before attempting your jumps, of course. Gravity still does hurt, but the jump itself is also pretty generous when it comes to spacing. After successfully making your jump, you now have the freedom to stick one of your fusion cores into that rusty set of T-45 power armor, as we've done so many times before. Hop into the suit and grab the oh so useful minigun from the cockpit of the vertibird, which will outfit you with a lot of 5mm ammo. The third closest fusion core is of course inside the ground level of the Museum of Freedom, which we can quickly get to from the roof access door. And as an added bonus of already having the power armor and the minigun, we also have the high ground on the raiders in here. After you've no doubt quickly dealt with those raiders, you can go and meet with Preston and Sturgis, surprise them with your preparedness, grab the magazine and the bobblehead if you're after collectibles while you're in here, and head to the bottom floor where they would have sent you if you didn't have any fusion cores to begin with, where you can do a novice level either lockpick or hack to access the fusion generator and take the core from it, resulting in 3 total fusion cores just from our trip over to Concord. Now, if we have spoken to Preston and Sturgis, the next stage of the quest will start, and more raiders led by Gristle will be outside, and the Deathclaw will emerge at the end of the street if you're close enough. In the interest of saving time and ammunition, we can ignore the raiders and stroll down the street until the Deathclaw spawns, and just leave them to fight each other. We've got places to be. places like our next fusion core location known as the Robotics Disposal Ground, which is to the north of Concord towards the edge of the map. A straightforward location in itself, which consists of one concrete structure next to a scrapyard with an inactive sentry bot with a military trunk right next to it, which should contain a fusion core inside. And you can guess, the other two are inside the sentry bot prototype. Unfortunately, this is not one of the robots so you can sneak attack while it's inactive to deactivate that way, but the main solution is also minimal risk to the player, which is nice. And you can find said solution in the concrete building by activating the terminal in here and playing the holotape that is still plugged in. You can use this to activate the prototype sentry bot. Once you do that, some mole rats should spawn, which the sentry bot can swiftly deal with, but at any point after it's activated, you can access the holotape again and tell it to self-destruct, letting you salvage 2 more fusion cores from its robotic remains, which should put us at 6 fusion cores total so far. And if you're here for magazines as well, don't forget to pick up the Hot Rodder magazine that is next to the terminal. The next fusion core we're after is at USAF Satellite Station Olivia, which will be easy enough to spot because it is a satellite station, big old satellite dish, east of the robotics disposal site. But on your way there, you can make a brief stop at another crashed vertibird that should have another power armor chassis nearby with some spare pieces equipped to it that you can take off of it if you would like. We then continue our short walk to the satellite station, where a few raiders are posted outside, but you likely have the tools to deal with them swiftly. The only thing really out of the ordinary here would be an explosive mole rat that may show up, but you'll likely hear it beeping on its approach. Once you're done out here, we can go inside the satellite station where our fusion core is located. Down the stairs and past the laser tripwire, you'll find 2 little windows overlooking the central chamber of this facility. Taking these stairs down to the right will lead you directly into this chamber. There are several raiders and possibly a dog patrolling the area, as well as a raider leader by the name of Ak who is also wielding a minigun. Stealth is possible here, but so is turning them into red mist with your minigun. I leave that up to you. No matter how you decide to clear this place, if you take the stairs down to the central chamber, the doorway will point you right at the fusion generator, and then you can head out at your discretion. Magazine collectors, there is a covert ops manual in the locked room near the entrance. The last of the fusion cores we're after is at the Starlight Drive-In, one of the larger settlement workshops you can come across, which is located southeast of Concord if you're looking at the map. Once you are here, beware of the mole rats of the area, as well as the bottle cap mine that can be placed at the snack bar or that sometimes moves just to the ground somewhere, as well as the frag mines in the stairway behind the screen. Speaking of behind the screen, the locked storage room here is actually where the fusion core is located, protected by a measly novice locked door. Break your way in and the fusion core should be on the metal shelves, as well as many other goodies, including even a floor safe in the back corner. Now I'd like to hear from you. What places do you go to when you're in search of fusion cores? And if my mere mention of collectibles enticed you, you can find guides right here to all of the magazines in Fallout 4 as well as the bobbleheads, if you're looking to be a master collector. If you found this useful, entertaining, or both, please do whatever you see fit to show that. Among the ways you can is by supporting on Patreon like the amazing fusion-powered supporters on screen now, including my Wasteland legends, Sven and Rose. Thank you so very much for watching. I'm Kato Genesis, and may you wander the wasteland like you own it.